Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today's video is about to get a whole lot darker. Everyone knows about the plague that has befallen the Earth, and that is the CV. Now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't think I'm allowed to actually talk about it on the channel using what it's actually called, so we'll just call it the CV. So, I'm here to talk about which of my favorite video game characters could survive the CV virus. So, with that out of the way, let's roll the intro and get started with the surviving. So, out of all the video games I enjoy and the characters I love, the first video game that we have to take off the list, very sad, is the Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics. Now, these are possessed robots, and of course, will be impervious to the virus we will be talking about today. So, having them crossed off, let's get started. Now, just for your entertainment, I'm going to put Fortnite on the list. Now, I don't really enjoy Fortnite. I'm not like the biggest fanboy of that game, but let's just put Jonesy from Fortnite, our main Fortnite mascot. So let's put him in and see how well he would fare to the CV. Now, we know that the CV collects in your throat and it attacks your lungs and gives you a very sore throat. Now, he could, in theory, use water and salt, and as we know that the internet has already confirmed that it can be killed with salt and water. So he drinks about a bunch of this. He drinks maybe once or twice a day of the salt and water. He could be cured, but if Jonesy, being as dumb as he is, would he even think to use this? And since in Fortnite there doesn't appear to be internet of any kind, he would not know this. None of the characters in Fortnite would know this, and we can safely assume that Jonesy and the other rest of his friends would, of course, perish. I mean, I'm sure one of the characters would figure it out, but I definitely, Jonesy, for example, would not survive just because of how, laid back and sort of like average IQ he is. So, moving on to the next game. We're talking about all of the heroes in Overwatch. Now, Overwatch, as you know, is part of my gaming holy trinity with Five Nights at Freddy's at the top, Overwatch on the left, and Metroid Prime on the right. So, the Overwatch heroes, I believe that they're a candidate that could survive like the Five Nights at Freddy's people, because the Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics, of course, are impervious to any illness because they're possessed robots. But yeah. So the heroes from Overwatch, there's a chance that yes, they could survive with Winston on their team. Winston, of course, is a scientist, and it would take a little effort for him to figure out a cure and find that the cure is, like I said before on the news, and I don't know how accurate this is and or if it even works, but that whole water and salt cure that the internet has been talking about, yes, he might in fact survive if he figured out a way, even a more effective way than the water thing, to cure his fellow heroes. So yeah, we can safely assume that probably the Overwatch heroes would survive the CV plague virus, whatever you want to call it. Next up, another part of my gaming holy trinity, and that is Metroid Prime, and more importantly, Samus from Metroid Prime. Now, because Samus has her armor, she is pretty much impervious to the virus because, of course, her armor has healing properties, as has been confirmed in several games. Her armor does have healing properties involved in it, so of course it would have no effect on her. But we're taking a look at Zero Suit Samus. Samus without her armor on, with her just her blue, tight suit that she wears when she isn't wearing the armor. Now, because her mouth is exposed. Yes, if the virus was airborne or something like that, she could in fact get infected with it if she ate fruit that was infected with the virus, or it was airborne and she just happened to breathe it in. She would she would most probably succumb to it, but like I said before, Samus is a bounty hunter. They live in space, so the virus would probably not even get up to space in the atmosphere. I don't see it being that dramatized where the virus actually could get up into space. So, this pretty much leaves her out of the picture, as well as the Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics, which, I'm not being biased. I'm being very serious. The virus would probably not even make it out of the atmosphere, but, stranger things have happened. Like viruses from space have come to Earth. So who knows what could happen. But moving on to Spyro the Dragon. So, those of you who don't remember, Spyro the Dragon was an old ass game for the PlayStation, back when the PlayStation was hip and hop. And there was a character that you could play as Spyro, running through different worlds and fighting different antagonists. Now, Spyro is a dragon, so of course he's got armored scales and stuff like that, and he breathes fire. But I, it's hard to understand because I'm not the most intelligent person. Um, I'd like to say that he would survive, maybe, but I don't even know. I don't even know in this case because he's a dragon. He's got armor plating, but it's not nothing that could like pierce his skin. So even if he still ingested it or inhaled it, he could very well die from it or get seriously, screwed up physically from the virus. So I don't know. Um, I'm gonna say that yeah, he's fucked too because he may have armored scales, but it's not like the virus can penetrate the skin or anything. You have to ingest it or catch it from somewhere. So I'm assuming that yeah, Spiral the Dragon doesn't matter if he has fire or armored scales. Yeah, he's going down too. So let's move on to the next character. We have Mario. Now, this is the last one I'm going to do, and this is the Mario as appearing in Mario Sunshine for the GameCube. Now, because I chose this specific Mario, it's pretty much confirmed that he, of course, wins. But now, what if I chose a different Mario? Mario that isn't associated with any of the newer games. A Mario that time has forgot. Yes, I'm talking about Jumpman Mario, or the Mario appearing in the original Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo NES. Now, this Mario does not have all sorts of special gear like he does in Mario Sunshine, so I don't even know why I picked that version of him. But yeah, there we go. Nice troll for today. But joking aside, so we're talking about the Jumpman Mario, and that is the Mario from the NES. So this Mario, of course, there's no special gear, no nothing, just Mario going on an adventure and stuff like that. Now Mario, would he even recognize that he was even getting affected with the CV? Almost got demonetized there. With the CV, because I mean he's not dumb either. I mean, but I don't think that Mario has access to the internet. Obviously not. So he wouldn't be able to figure out a way to stop the infection from spreading into him and of course wrecking his lungs and damaging his throat. However, I can't even include Rosalina because Rosalina wasn't even added until more recent games. So yeah, I don't think that there's a way that Mario, just basic Mario, could survive. So now we're going to be getting to one of the video game characters that I think would hands down survive. And we're not talking about the animatronics. I'm sorry, they cannot be included because I said they are just possessed robots, so they cannot be included. I'm sorry, but they would survive to begin with anyway because they're literally just possessed robots. But yeah, going on to one of the characters that I think would hands down survive the CV infection if it got out of hand. And that is, drumroll, Winston. Winston from Overwatch. Yes, you've heard it first. Winston from Overwatch. There is no way that this virus could even affect him because, like I said before, when I talked about the Overwatch heroes, Winston is very intelligent. He is a scientist gorilla, and he would realize that this was getting out of hand before it would even get out of hand. Winston would be online searching up the symptoms for the virus like a freaking pro, like a doctor. He would be like, okay, this is the characteristics of it, blah blah blah, and then he would bam come up with a solution to the problem, come up with a cure, and he would cure the world with it. I mean, that, awesome. Just, so Winston, one of my favorite video game characters, would be the survivor. And just because he would be a survivor, because he's such a selfless hero, he would use his cure to save the rest of the people who are infected by the terrible CV. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know, do you agree with my picks? Now, these are just from my personal favorite games. Now, but so I guess I'm very biased, but all the characters I believe I dealt with fairly. I didn't give them too strong, hence why I got rid of the animatronics, because even though they're some of my favorite characters from video game history, I do believe that they have to be excluded because they are possessed robots. They cannot be affected by a virus. But I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Do take care.